Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our online class. Hope you are very happy. Okay, dear students, the last class we studied about one important 5 mark question, the characters of genetic code. Okay, say here genetic code means it's a language. Okay, by using this language only the genetic informations are written in the genetic materials. Understand? And we studied some important characters of this genetic code, and totally 64 codons are there. Okay, so genetic codes are in triplet forms. Okay, so the triplet form genetic code is called codon. Totally 64 codons are there, and 61 codons are responsible for coding the amino acid, and 3 codons are called stop codons. Okay, so we studied all these informations about this genetic code in the last class. So today we are going to study about one of the very important 5 mark question, mechanism of translation. Okay, mechanism of translation. See, listen very carefully. See, the proteins are otherwise called cellular factory because ribosomes are otherwise called cellular factory because the ribosomes only are responsible for the production of different kinds of proteins in our body. Okay, so ribosomes only are responsible for the production of proteins in our body, so that only the ribosomes are called cellular factory. Understand you? And the ribosomes has two important subunits. When the ribosomes are in inactive condition, it has two subunits. One is a larger subunit and the second one is a smaller subunit. Understand? And these two subunits, okay, both larger subunit and smaller subunit, both subunits togetherly encountering or attacking a mRNA molecules, immediately the translation process is started or begins. Okay, so when the subunit of a ribosome encounter a mRNA molecule, immediately the translation of mRNA into protein is begins or started. Understand you? That already I told you there are two types of ribosomes are there. One is called 70S type of ribosome and the second one is called 80S type of ribosome. And maximum in prokaryotic organism the ribosome is in 70S type, and in eukaryotic organism the ribosome is in 80S type. Okay, so listen very carefully. See, prokaryotes, example we can say bacterial species. Okay, see, in prokaryotes the ribosome is in 70S type. So the 70S type of ribosome in prokaryotes has two subunits. One is a larger subunit, name of the subunit is called 50S subunit. And the second one is a smaller subunit, name of the subunit is called 30S subunit. This 50S subunit consists of some RNAs. See, 5 srRNAs, 23 sRNA, 31 proteins are present in the larger subunit of a prokaryote. Larger subunit present in the ribosome of a prokaryote. And the 30S subunit consists of 16 srRNAs. Consists of 16 srRNAs. Then, in eukaryotic organism, already I told you the type of ribosome is 80S type. The larger subunit is called 60S and the smaller subunit is called 40S. So this larger subunit, that means the 60S subunit consists of 5 srRNAs, 23 sRNA, 31 proteins. Then the smaller subunit, that means the 40S subunit, consists of 18 sRNAs, 33 proteins. Okay, so now we completed the larger subunit and the smaller subunit of both prokaryote ribosome and eukaryote ribosomes. Hope you understood. So these subunits, both larger and smaller subunit togetherly they have to encounter a protein molecule. Togetherly encounter a mRNA molecule. Okay, then only the mRNA molecule can involve in the translation process to synthesis protein. Understand you? Then now we are going to study about 4 important 3-mark questions. Listen very carefully. 2-mark question. Listen very carefully. See, the first question is called a reading frame. See, a reading frame means it's an alternate way to divide a base sequence of DNA or RNA into codon. So, reading frame meaning, it is an alternative way to divide a base sequence of a DNA or RNA into codon is called reading frame. And the second 2 mark question is open reading frame. Here, open reading frame meaning, say, any base sequence of a DNA molecule or RNA molecule. Any base sequence of a DNA molecule or RNA molecule with a start codon, and they are involved in the translation process. Okay, they are involved in the translation process to produce the protein. It is called open reading frame. It is called a open reading frame. So once again repeat the meaning of this open reading frame. So any base sequence of a DNA or RNA begins with a start codon and which are involved in the translation process to produce protein is called open reading frame. Then the third question is untranslated region. Okay, in some mRNA molecules, some additional regions are there. Okay, some additional regions are present. These additional regions are not involved in the translation process. So this region is called untranslated region. This region is called untranslated region. Then the next question is Shine-Dalgarno sequence. In short, we can say SD sequence. Here, SD sequence meaning in prokaryotic organism, the 5 end of mRNA molecule, okay, the 5 end of a mRNA molecule has a special sequence, and this special sequence proceed or pushing forward the start codon. Okay, the start codon is the AUG start codon. Okay, pushing this AUG start codon of a mRNA. So this binding site is called SD sequence, otherwise called Shine-Dalgarno sequence. So once again repeat this answer. See, in prokaryotic organism, the 5 end of the mRNA has a special sequence. This sequence pushing forward the AUG start codon, pushing the AUG start codon of a mRNA. So this binding site is called SD sequence or Shine-Dalgarno sequence. So now we have completed 4 important 2 mark questions, very important 2 mark questions. Question of you done. Now only we are going to study about the translation process, mechanism of translation process. See, the correct meaning of this word translation is the process of polymerization of amino acid to form a polypeptide chain is called translation. You all know protein is one of the important, there are different types of protein molecules are present in the body, and these protein molecules are made up of amino acid molecules. Many amino acid molecules are togetherly forming a polypeptide chain. Okay, so here translation, the meaning of the word, the correct meaning of the word translation is the process of polymerization of amino acid to form a polypeptide chain is called translation. Okay, so dear students, listen very carefully. It is one of the very important 5 mark question, and moreover it's a very big question. Okay, so listen very carefully there. So the translation meaning I said. Now this translation process takes place in 3 steps. Okay, the translation process happening inside the body in 3 steps. The first step is the initiation, second one is the elongation, and the third one is the termination. So initiation, elongation, termination, these are the 3 steps involved in the translation process. So first I explain about this, the first step, initiation. Say initiation process. Actually this initiation process begins after the formation of a factor. Name of that factor is called initiation complex. Initiation complex. So after the formation or after the production of this initiation complex only, this first step, initiation step is started. Okay, here this initiation complex consists of some factors. They are 30S subunit of a ribosome, mRNAs, then formyl methionine tRNA, one GTP for energy purpose, then 3 initiation factor 1, initiation factor 2, initiation factor 3. So these are the some of the components of a initiation complex. So once I repeat this initiation, so this initiation step is started after the formation of a initiation complex. Here this initiation complex consists of some factors or some components. The components name 30S subunit of a ribosome, then mRNA, formin methionine tRNA, then GTP for energy purpose, and 3 initiation factor 1, 2, 3. So these are the some of the component of a initiation complex. Okay, so listen very carefully. See, first this initiation factor 1 bind with the 30S subunit of a ribosome. Okay, and this 30S ribosome binding with mRNA. So the initiation factor 1 bind with the 30S subunit of a ribosome, and after that this 30S subunit of a ribosome bind with the mRNA. Then initiation factor 2. This initiation factor 2 enhances the formin methionine tRNA to bind with the small subunit of a ribosome. So the initiation factor 2 enhances the binding of formin methionine tRNA with the small subunit of a ribosome. And the third one, initiation factor 3. This initiation factor 3 allow the initiation complex to bind with the 50S subunit, and finally produce a complete ribosome 70S. Then GTP, already I told you, GTP, guanosine triphosphate. This GTP is one of the important component of this initiation complex. So this GTP only providing energy for this initiation process. So listen students very carefully. Once again repeat the first step in the translation process, initiation. This initiation process is begins or started after the development or after the formation of an initiation complex. This initiation complex consists of some important components: mRNA, 30S subunit, then 3 initiation factor 1, 2, 3, then GTP, then next formin methionine tRNA. So these are the some of the components of a initiation complex. Okay, now I explain the functions of these 3 initiation factors. First, initiation factor 1 bind with the 30S subunit of a ribosome. Now this 30S subunit of a ribosome bind with the mRNA. Then initiation factor 2. This initiation factor 2 allow the formin methionine tRNA to bind with the small subunit of a ribosome. Then initiation factor 3 allow the initiation complex to bind with the 50S subunit. Finally, it produce a complete ribosome. Then for this initiation process, energy is needed. This energy is given by GTP. Hope you understood this first step. Then so now we completed the first step in the translation process, initiation. Okay. Then second one is elongation. Second step of this translation process is elongation. See, listen very carefully. See, once both subunit of a ribosome. Okay, so once both subunit means here smaller subunit and the larger subunit. Once this both subunit, smaller and larger subunit of a ribosome is assembled with a mRNA, 3 binding sites are formed for 2 mRNAs. Listen very carefully. Once both subunit of a ribosome assembled with a mRNA, immediately 3 binding sites are formed for 2 mRNAs. Okay, so the first binding site is called amino acid binding site. Amino acid binding site. Okay, so in short we can say A site. Okay, so the first site is called A site, otherwise called amino acid binding site. Then the second site name is peptidase site. binding site. In short, we can write P site. Okay. Then the third site is called exit site. In short, we can say E site. So once again repeat this point. See, once both subunit of a ribosome assembled with a mRNA, immediately 3 binding sites are formed for 2 mRNAs. So the first binding site is called amino acid binding site. It is otherwise called A site. Second site is called peptide site, otherwise called P site. And the third site is called exit site, otherwise called E site. Okay. Then this elongation process takes place in 5 or 6 steps. So first I explain the first step in elongation process. Say, in this first step, when a second tRNA, already I told you two tRNAs are there. Okay, so when the second tRNA gets its original position at the A site of a ribosome, immediately hydrogen bonds are formed between the anticodon and second codon. Listen very carefully. The first, now I explain the first step in the elongation process. When the second tRNA molecule gets its original position in the A site, okay, original position in the A site of a ribosome, immediately hydrogen bonds are formed. This hydrogen bond is formed between the anticodon and codon region. Okay, then for this process step, okay, for this step many factors are needed. One tRNA, one GTP, okay, guanosine triphosphate, then elongation factor TS, then elongation factor TU. Okay, tRNA, GTP, elongation factor TS and elongation factor TU. So these factors are very important for the first step in the elongation process. Hope you understood. Then the second step, say the enzyme, okay, peptide transferase. This peptide transferase catalyzes the formation of peptide bond between the amino acid molecule. So in the second step, one enzyme, name of that enzyme is called peptide transferase. So this peptide transferase catalyzes or speed up the formation of peptide bond between the amino acid. Then one more event also takes place during the second step. See, during this time, at the same time, the covalent bond present between the amino acid and mRNA, okay, between the amino acid and mRNA is broken. The covalent bond present between the amino acid, sorry, not mRNA, tRNA, amino acid and tRNA is broken. So these two events are takes place in the second step. Once again repeat. See, the enzyme peptide transferase catalyze or speed up the formation of peptide bond between the amino acids. At the same time, the covalent bond present between the amino acid and tRNA is broken. Understand? So these two events takes place in the second steps of a elongation process. Then third step, see, for a repeated elongation. So this elongation process should takes place again repeated. Okay, so for this repeated elongation process, the tRNA attached with the P site should move to the E site. Listen very carefully. In the third step, for repeated elongation process, the tRNA attached with the P site is moving, released and moving to E site. Understand a few? Then now the mRNA, tRNA, amino acid 1, amino acid 2, all these components are moving to the P site. So in the third step also two events are takes place. The third step also two events. The first event is what is the first event? For the repeated elongation process. Okay, for the repeated elongation process, the tRNA attached with the P site is released and moved to E site. Then tRNA, mRNA, amino acid 1, amino acid 2, all these components are moving to P side. So these two events takes place in the third step. Then in the fourth step, see the third triplet. Okay, triplet meaning you all know in the last class I told you code. Okay, so one codon consists of 3 codes. So togetherly we can say what a triplet codon. So the third triplet of a mRNA accept another one tRNA in the A site. Okay, so the third triplet of mRNA accept another one tRNA in the A site. Okay, so this event takes place during the fourth step, and for this process also, for this step also more amount of energy is needed. For this step also more amount of energy is needed. Okay, my dear students, and the last step, see in the fifth step. So during the fifth step, the sequence of elongation process is repeated again and again. The sequence of elongation process is repeated again and again. Finally, additional amino acid, the end of the elongation process, more number of or additional amino acids are attached to a polypeptide chain, and a well developed or well formed polypeptide chain is emerged out from the base of the larger subunit. From the base of the larger subunit. Hope you understood. So this elongation process takes place in 5 or 6 steps. So at the end of the elongation process, additional amino acids are attached with the polypeptide chain, and a well completed polypeptide chain is emerged out from the base of the larger subunit. Understand of you? Then, so now we completed the first step initiation and the second step elongation. Okay, and the third step is termination. See, termination. So it is the third phase or third step in the translation process. Okay, and this termination process takes place when any one of the stop codon is appear in the A site. Stop codon already told you there are 3 stop codons are there. Okay, so for termination purpose, so in elongation process, in translation process, and any one of the stop codon is needed for the termination step. Okay, so this termination process takes place after the appearing of any one of the stop codon in the A site, and this stop codon should appear in the A site. It should appear in the A site. Understand a few? Then GTP dependent releasing factor. Okay, so it's one of the very important factor playing a very important role in the termination process. GTP dependent elongation factor. So this factor, GTP dependent releasing factor. So this factor cleave the polypeptide chain. Cleave the polypeptide chain. So a few. Then finally RNAs are released from the ribosome. Then these ribosomes are separated into its subunits. Okay, after the releasing of RNA from the ribosome molecules are separated into larger subunit and smaller subunits. So we can repeat all the points about this last termination process. This termination process is a last phase in the translation mechanism. Okay, translation process. And this termination process is takes place after the appearing of any one stop codon in the A site. Okay, and during this time GTP dependent releasing factor cleave the polypeptide chain. Then after that the RNAs are released from the ribosome. Finally the ribosomes are split or disassociated or separated into its larger subunit and smaller subunit. Understand, my dear students? So it's very important question, and it is explained in big paragraphs. A very big question. So today itself try to complete this question answer. Okay. So once again repeat the meaning of this word elongation. Elongation meaning of the word translation. So translation meaning the process of polymerization of amino acid to form a polypeptide chain in a protein molecule is called translation. Okay, so study and send the answer to me. I will correct it. Okay, study well. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.